you can't have everything in life.
No.
And there's a price associated with success, or what people label as success. That's what our business needs sometimes, is someone that's going to challenge the status quo. It's stressful business.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like I routinely say things that I wish I couldn't do. It's important to try and switch off, but then embrace the fact that it's not realistic to expect of yourself to turn off completely. It can be a bit unrelenting, really. So welcome back to British Business with Matt Holland. That's myself, just for clarity. I'm joined today again with Tom McIlvenny, my co-host on the podcast. How are we doing, mate? You
very
right?
good, yeah. All good, thank you very much. How are you, all right?
Yeah, good. I'm feeling a bit tired today.
Right.
It's been a bit of a hard week this week.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, challenges that we face.
Absolutely.
People, it's ups and downs, let's just say that.
Yeah.
I think the topic today that we're going to cover is quite nicely positioned with how I'm feeling, because we're going to talk about taking time out of the business. And I'm looking forward to taking a couple of days off this weekend. It'll be nice. It's been eventful, let's just say that. But yeah, how's your team doing at the moment? They're busy, cracking on with stuff?
Yeah, we were busy. We're back at it now, obviously, coming near I was recording this near the end of January. So yeah, just cranking everything back up to full pace. So yeah, the team all doing well and yeah, pushing forward now.
Excellent. And did you enjoy the podcast last week? It was all about Q1. It was quite good, that.
No, I enjoyed it, because then coming away from that, a few days after, I was thinking, actually, talking about Q1 preparation planning, it made me revisit what we'd already looked over, reviewed from the previous year. It just gave me a kick, I suppose, again, to review, Q1 and get my own plans in place.
I think I've enjoyed listening back to the episodes, because it's good to kind of have a bit of a kind of viewpoint on your own advice or your own thoughts, because you say things and you think things, but then do you actually do it?
Exactly.
It's all you've got. If we're talking the talk, we've got to do it. Do you know what
I mean?
Yeah.
Like, need to be held to account.
Yeah, exactly. So these podcasts are great for us.
Yeah, absolutely. That's where the value is for us.
God, I've not done that thing. Do you know what I mean?
Can't be telling other people to do it and then not actioning it ourselves. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no. So, I think the first couple of episodes have gone well, and I think this is our third episode. We're still very early. We've got a podcast sponsor today, haven't we? We've got
brilliant.
New tonic energy drink. They haven't paid us yet, but maybe they will in the future.
At some point, maybe a few free crates of new tonic wouldn't go amiss for us.
It's good stuff. So check it out.
Keep us fueled up.
There we are. Just hit the mic, but anyway. Yeah, I mean, it would be nice to get a podcast sponsor one day, wouldn't it?
It would.
In our little humble podcast. But, yeah, I mean, today is quite a big topic for me.
Yes.
It's quite important. Like, I'm feeling a bit jaded this week. It's been a bit tough. Kind of, you're running at a rate of knots all the time as a business owner.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's intense. Like, problems get thrown your way left, right and centre. I was having a chat with my sister Sarah yesterday when I was driving, and she was just updating me on something that I was kind of aware of. It's just trying to communicate with HMRC about anything.
No, good luck.
Like, they are just an absolute nightmare. I mean, we don't want you as a podcast sponsor, just to be clear. We have no interest in working with you, HMRC.
Yeah.
We do enough work with you, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, they're a nightmare to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
We've just got a little tiny thing to do with our VAT, and we're just trying to get into our portal, and we're just having a bit of a nightmare. It's just like, so Sarah doesn't really deal with it on a day-to-day thing, but she mentioned it to me, and then my brain's like, oh God, yeah, is it something else that I'm going to have to deal with?
Yeah, you're going to have to step in and deal with it.
And I said to her, I didn't lose my head, but I was like, do I really need to deal with these kinds of things? And it's stressful business.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like I routinely say things that I wish I couldn't do. I think we're all a bit like that.
We all do that.
And I do that a lot more when I'm stressed.
Yeah.
Pressure.
I think when you are stressed and the pressure's on, the fuse is shorter, and multiple things, if you get hit with them at once, you sometimes may say something that you wouldn't ordinarily say if you were in a clearer frame of mind, I suppose. And that probably does tie back to what we're going to discuss today about taking time out of the business for yourself and your own mental health as well.
Yeah. I think entrepreneurial people, in my experience, because this doesn't necessarily apply to me, I'm sure there's some very normal entrepreneurs out there that are not as on the spectrum as I am, or even yourself. I think you definitely identify in a similar way to me. Like I think I'm an intense person. Yeah, I'm up and down. I'm left and right. It's a bit of I kind of go in a whirlwind, create a load of trouble.
Yeah, a bit of chaos.
But that's what our business needs sometimes, is someone that's going to challenge the status quo and go, right, okay, Rob, you've chosen to do it that way. What about this angle?
Yeah.
Like, I'm a different perspective, definitely. And I think I've got that advantage over other people. But it's not easy because of my nature. Yeah. I'm intense with everything I do. But that has it does impact me. Yeah. Like, it's this kind of like, and I think it'd be really good to deep dive into like mental well-being and things like that in business, because it's hard. Yeah. I've found it difficult over the years, and there's been periods where I've really struggled. And I'm quite open with it these days, like, because I've kind of pulled through a lot of it. Yeah. Like stress and pressure of a growing business, and like you've got employees, so you've got people that are reliant on you. Yeah, they've got mortgages to pay, they've got car payments to make, they've got kids in nursery. Like life is not cheap. Everything costs money, and people are working in your business, or maybe you're a smaller business that has third parties reliant upon you. And if you're unable to deliver, it impacts people. So there's stress and pressure. I mean, like Morgan today, we've come into his business, and we're recording the podcast in his setup. There must be a bit of like nervous energy and anxiety, Morgan, when we're turning up to kind of shoot an episode.
I mean, a small amount. But,
cool cookie.
Yeah, I'm a cool cookie. I think the thing is, the cool thing about podcasting is it's that, opinion basis. It's a chat. It is quite a relaxed form of filmmaking, and it embraces the element of being relaxed. And I think once people get into the groove, as you guys are now, it becomes easier and easier, because, you just got to say what you got to say. And, I know where the cameras need to be, and as long as I'm here, it's going back to the chat we had on one of the previous podcasts about kind of employees and how difficult it is. If you're in control and you know where everything's going, it's not too bad to hire somebody to do that. Can be a tricky thing. But when you're doing it yourself, you know where things have got to be and how things have got to play out.
Yeah, no, I think like this nervous energy that I have, it's a massive strength and a massive weakness. And I notice myself, like in relation to what Morgan's saying there, like the day-to-day stuff, like when it's the status quo, you're kind of just really good and efficient at it. Yeah. But if I'm tired and stressed and I have to deal with something that's outside of the day-to-day. Yeah. So like say today, I don't know, I think on one of the other episodes, one of your cameras overheated briefly, and it's that kind of like nervous energy of like, is the camera going to be all right? Like that's how I think, because it's not my day-to-day. Yeah. But taking time out of your business so that you are feeling relatively fresh. And don't get me wrong, like it's a 24-hour job. Yeah, running a business. Like people talk about work-life balance. I think if you want to be an exceptional business owner, an exceptional person, you have to be exceptional. You have to be different.
Yeah, you do.
And like I think it's a bit of you can't have everything in life. No. So everything comes at a cost. Yeah. And there's a price associated with success, or what people label as success, because that's another thing. Like, what does it mean? But I've learned over the years, more so probably in the last 12 months than ever before, that it's actually really important to take time out, remove yourself from the day-to-day of the business a little bit, where possible. But then equally at the same time, sometimes you might have plans to take some time out and you have to put them to one side. It's intense. And I think anyone listening, I'm pretty sure they can connect with that and understand, because can be a bit unrelenting, really.
It certainly can most of the time, I imagine. I know for myself, it's the same thing. Thoughts, 24/7. Even resting my head on the pillow at night, trying to get to sleep, and I'm thinking, oh no, I need to have done. I didn't do that today. I should have done that. I never responded to that email, or this is a problem that I know is going to arise, and it's bubbling up, and what can I do about it? Yeah. I mean, one takeaway for me that has helped me, because I think sleep's a very important factor in your mental health. I take a notepad and a pen to bed, and it just sits on my bedside table. So if something does come up in my mind, either before I'm going to sleep or if it wakes me up in the middle of the night, I've got that pen and paper there. I can write it down. Yeah. Because for me, it's the fear of forgetting. I think, oh God, I can't forget that. I need to remember. Pen and paper by the bed. Jot it down. It's out of it can then go out of your mind. And for me, it's just relaxing. I've written it down. I'm not going to forget that now. Yeah. And I'll hit that first thing in the morning when I get up.
I agree with that one. I think that's a really good point. Being able to note something down just gives you the ability to rest your brain. Yeah. Because you do want to you have that thing of like holding everything in, and you're like, oh, I've got to do this, that, and the other, X, Y, Z. And like, if you write that down, now you can just let it go. And you know that you're not going to forget it. So now you can properly relax, because it's very easy to go and try and take some time out from work. But then you've just got the anxiety in the back of your head of, what if I forget that key thing I need to do? So like, tick lists are just, I'd say it's like probably my best business tip.
Yeah, 100%.
I think that kind of like writing things down is very powerful. Because if you are planning on taking a week off work and you've got loads of things to kind of like deal with, I'm going to be right. I've not done this, I've not done that. Actually, before I go and take a week off work, or I'm going away for a long weekend with the wife without the kids, although that seems quite rare for
When
me.
does that ever happen?
Maybe one day we'll get a nice weekend out together. I think before you go away, writing down, right, this is my to-do list for Monday, or this, or having a list that's just an ongoing list that you're going to add to. Yeah. So while you're in Greece on holiday or wherever it is, or Butlins,
wherever you're going, yeah.
Like a Haven, like we're going to Haven this year for a couple of weeks.
Nice.
Can't afford Centre Parks like you.
No, well, I'd say if Centre Parks want to sponsor,
that would be a great sponsor.
That would be unbelievable. Yeah. We could even do an episode there.
Yeah, that would be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I wonder if we can put that on expenses, actually. Podcast expenses.
I'm not sure HMRC would be very interested in that one.
Although if we filmed it, if we took Morgan
with us,
we could.
Absolutely, you can definitely justify that. And
I think
excellent. Right,
I'd love to go I'd love to go to Centre Parks.
Where are you off to tomorrow, Morgan? Out of interest,
I'm going to Philadelphia.
Oh, beautiful!
Wow.
Yeah, Philadelphia.
So Manchester to Philadelphia, flying business class, of course.
Oh, sadly not on this occasion. Not on this occasion. When I get enough Amex points, I will. Absolutely.
You will be doing. Yeah.
Are you with Amex? Are you? That's interesting.
Yes, I am. I think they're good on occasion, but you've got to play the system right.
Well, I'm going to hook you up after this podcast. Me and Tom are with a credit card company called Capital on Tap.
Okay.
Which I'll tell you what. Well, in the bio, I'll stick my referral.
You can get the referrals.
I'll get the referrals.
Yeah. Okay. Did I not refer you?
You did,
I must get some sort of.
No, you're not getting anything.
Yeah, never mind.
Because I was with American Express for quite a while actually. But Capital on Tap, they I think the ratio of points you get to the money you spend is much higher, and you can still convert for Avios points and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay.
But I won't say too much about it from a HMRC and tax perspective, but it's very lucrative. So Capital on Tap, worth checking out. There's a link in my bio, and if anyone wants an introduction, I'll share that. But you should look at that, Morgan, because you do a lot of travelling, and actually, I think the incentives are better than American Express now. I switched.
I've definitely been seeing some things kind of popping up, and I mean the card I've got to pay per year for it. To be fair, now there's some cool benefits I get with that, but no, I mean, in terms of taking time out of work and savvy business decisions, if you can choose the right credit card and use it wisely, I mean, I know a lot of people they run their ads through it. I mean, you guys were talking about how much you spend on ads combined through the year. If that's going through some of these credit cards, like you're getting some really good points.
Yeah.
No comment.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, I mean that's an interesting one. Rewarding yourself, looking after yourself, trying to get those marginal gains to make your lifestyle a little bit easier and better. It's certainly something to look into. But Morgan, I mean, from your end, like going abroad, you travel quite a lot with your work. Do you find that when you are away that you're thinking better about the business? Like, how does that impact your day to day?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm very ADHD, very dyslexic. I've got a very busy mind, and so I use travel as a way to one, to take a break, but you know, when I take a break, I can't do the thing where people like sit on a lounger and sunbathe, because 5 minutes later I'm digging a hole on the beach. You know, it's very much like I've got to be busy whilst I relax. And so if I can use traveling as a way to kind of network as well, like I absolutely love to go on trips with lots of strangers. I go on trips with 100 random strangers. That's I come back and I've met people who are great at marketing, people who are meeting other people within my niche, maybe in Bali the next week. And so it's an opportunity to network a lot. However, it's not for everybody. That takes a lot of energy to introduce yourself to 100 people in a week and then do it all again the next month. But no, traveling, I think it also fills the time, like when I'm freelance, if I've got a week where I'm actually doing nothing, which, it's rare, but I would want to still be really busy, and it pushes me forward still.
Yeah, I think for me, when I take the time out of my business, or I have to go to a different location to really switch off and be able to critically think. Like, I go to the gym a lot, which is like a 15-20 minute drive from my work and home, because for viewers, we're based on the family farm. We sell country clothing as one of our main categories. So the warehouse is where I live. So I live and work from the same location. So it's even more intense for me.
Yeah, there's no escape.
There's no escape. Like, my driveway is a shared driveway access for my business.
Yeah.
So when I get back from filming this podcast later, I've finished for the day, like been out and about today. I'll land at home, and then the warehouse is still operational. Yeah. Like, they're working till 7-8 o'clock at night, and then in winter they do night shifts as well. So it's pretty intense. I mean, what kind of tactics, Tom? Because I think I've in the past been really poor at this. I've got better. From an outsider looking in, you might disagree with this. I think you're okay with it. I think you do have a reasonable work-life balance. You might disagree. But answer that question, and then what tactics have you employed in the past? You've mentioned about the kind of writing to-do lists and what have you. You and Morgan discussed that briefly before. But like, when you do go away, what things do you kind of employ to kind of make sure that it is quality?
Yeah, it's a good question. And as you say, for observing me from the outside, you think, oh yeah, I've got that nailed, which I can tell you personally, I feel like I don't, but I have made a much bigger effort over the last sort of 18 months to give myself more time, thinking space. Previous to that, it was just, I wouldn't really go away. I know my wife and my kids, we'd probably just go away for maybe a week here, or throughout the year, or a long weekend and things like that. So it was really lacking the quality time. And you know what? Probably the business suffered from that as well. I'm pretty sure it did, in fairness. Whereas I was like, no, actually, I'm going to prioritise my own mental health and physical health. So training was a big part of that. My own mental health. I need time and space away from the business. So the key thing was actually just booking things in the diary, because once it's in that diary, I'm hard committed to it then, and I never want to cancel anything last minute or anything like that. So I'm like, right, it's in the diary. It might be 6 months ahead, 2 months ahead, whatever. It's in there. We know it's happening, and I can plan around that then.
Exactly.
That's the key part. I mean, for myself, I think I do suffer with like time blindness, if that is even a thing. I never really realised that time's ran away from me, and I'm oh God. So what's the important thing for me is a big to-do list, ticking things off as we go. But what I have noticed is, as I'm approaching a certain time where I know, I'm off next week, or I'm off on the Friday, and there's a few big things that I've maybe failed to accomplish in that week or get done,
Yeah.
on that Thursday, I will be up early and I will work until it's done. So it's basically knowing that
It's having those deadlines.
deadline set ahead of myself.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting because like booking things in, it sounds really like simple.
Yeah.
But sometimes that's hard to do.
Yeah.
Like pinning other people in the business down, or if you're a sole trader business, that's entirely challenging. Just getting cover, that's hard. You're in your grind phase if it's just you.
Yes,
And the
definitely.
reality is that you've got to weigh up, right, I'm going to take a week off, nothing's going to get done. Is the return on investment of me taking that time and that hit on, say, revenue or what have you, worth me taking the time off? The answer for everyone listening is yes.
Yes, 100%
But
yes.
us as
Yeah.
entrepreneurs and business owners, we don't do that.
No.
I mean, just to kind of touch on another point, like how big an impact do you think taking time out of your business can have on positive decision making in your business? Like when you're faced with a fork in the road, like if you're fresh and rested,
Yeah.
what's your thoughts?
It's like night and day. I think if you're fresh, rested, you're thinking a hell of a lot clearer than you would be sitting in the day to day. I mean, I've been in the office, myself, my brother, we share an office. You know, it's the end of the day. We've had, busy day, stressful day, meetings. And then we're trying to make a key decision that will either financially or operationally in the business. You're not in any clear headspace to make a decision like that because ultimately the outcome from that decision is a big impact on your business, which is definitely a key reason you need to take time out of your business.
Well, I think in one of the other podcasts, I referenced your mate Jeff Bezos.
Oh yeah, Jeff. Yeah,
your buddy. You're on
my
first
best
term.
pal.
Yeah. Like he talks about that doorway.
Yeah.
If you're going to go through a doorway, be cautious about it, and like that decision to go through the doorway, don't kind of rush it.
Yes.
Take your time, and I think part of that kind of like logic is that sometimes you might not be in the best condition to make a decision.
No.
Because you've kind of rattled through and had to deal with the day to day.
Yeah.
And then you're presented as an entrepreneur with lots of different challenges. And they can kind of throw you off. So on the note of challenges, specifically in relation to time off, what would you say the main barriers for your business, and then in relation to smaller businesses?
Yeah. It would be within our business. I'm fortunate. I've got my brother, business partner. He's very operational. So I have got that counterbalance. So if I'm not there, generally, if I'm not there, he's there. So, and vice versa, that we've both got cover. But there is still always that anxiety of, oh my God, I'm out the business for a week. I'm going away. I'm going to Wales or, anywhere really. And I'm thinking, God, is stuff getting done the way that I want it to be done?
Yeah.
Is it being done at the pace I want it to be done? Or is a decision being held up because I'm not there? So I am guilty. I've got my phone. Obviously, emails are on my mobile.
Yeah.
Most suppliers, marketing agency, and some of the staff have got my own number, so they can easily reach me.
A little tip I've got for business, and it's a bit of a cost, but it's worth it. If you can get, I think I've just switched to Apple. You can get a eSIM now, so I've got 2 mobile numbers.
Right.
And it's an extra tenner a month. Obviously, you can offset it against corporation tax, everything, and all the rest of it. But for small business, it's still a cost. That has made a massive difference to me. The fact I can turn off my work mobile number.
Yeah.
And not receive any phone calls. That's big.
That is key.
So it's little things like that you can really just tweak and change your mindset on. One of the things I think is challenging for me to take time off is like, because, and you said about like worrying that things aren't being done the way you'd want it to do.
Yes.
I think like all entrepreneurial people are guilty of that. This kind of like, it's almost like, for me, I get a bit paranoid.
Yeah.
I'm much better at that now than I used to be. And I think it's because me, Sarah and Robert are very culturally aligned. Whereas if we go back 3 or 4 years, we kind of, as a business, we're all a lot less mature in terms of our business experience. But we weren't aligned on what our goals were, what our story is, what our tone of voice is.
Yeah.
And I think if you can focus on those fundamentals in your business, when you do want to take time off, you can take a step back and know that your team can manage it effectively. So that's, I get where you're saying with that. But in terms of like barriers for me taking time off, one of the biggest things is like managing your team's holidays. Like I kind of put Danny under a lot of pressure January this year to make sure the guys have got their annual leave booked in, so that then he can plan his annual leave and I can plan mine, or vice versa. Like I've planned mine, so now we need to get Danny's booked in, and Danny can't have time off if Lucas is off, and vice versa. It's really challenging. I'd imagine you have similar challenges with that as well. But yeah, I think like this episode, it's quite an interesting one because we've covered like the topic of like we've said the buzzwords of like ADHD, dyslexia. Morgan's just disclosed that he's got ADHD and dyslexia as well. Yeah, like there's a common theme with it.
There is a common theme. It is a common theme. It's just the case, isn't it, with a lot of people? And I think
people that are like that, they're quite obsessive.
Yeah.
There's advantages and disadvantages, but it means that when you do try and take time off, you can't help yourself.
Yeah.
But we are what we are. And I think you to a certain extent, when you take the time off, you kind of have to embrace the fact that your mind, or for me, like when I was in Greece, I was last year, I was me, Amy and the kids, like we went to the same ice cream place every day. Yeah. We had ice cream every day from this place in, where was it we went? Island of Kos, Cardanima.
Oh, nice.
Really nice, yeah. I had been there a few years ago, but it was a good little holiday. But this little ice cream, I couldn't help myself trying to work out in my head, how much money is it? He must be doing all right. And it's a pretty good lifestyle business, that. And I was like, in my head, you can't switch off.
No, you cannot.
So it's about the balance. That's the key thing for me. And I suppose it's important to try and switch off, but then embrace the fact that it's not realistic to expect of yourself to turn off completely.
Yeah, I agree. It's the same for myself. If I'm going away in the UK, mainly I go to Wales, I'll always take my laptop with me, even if I'm going for a long weekend or if I'm there for a week, and I'll be logging on and I will be doing a bit of work. But fortunately for me, I've got, instead of working that whole day, I'm spending time with the wife and the kids, and we're making great family memories, and my mind, it switches off then. I'm just focusing quality time, me, my wife, my kids, enjoying that, whether we're fishing or we're going to the beach or having a little barbecue or anything like that. Yeah. But then later on in that evening, my mind's ticking about what I've seen that day, and also the thoughts that are popping into my head about the business. What should we be doing? It just gives you that clear, open space where I'm not getting mithered with anything that's day-to-day operational. I've got the bigger picture thinking that I can do. And that is a key point to stress, really, for anyone, whether you're a small business, an individual running a business on their own, or you've got a team around you. You still need to be thinking that bigger picture for your business.
Yeah, and you've got to make those difficult decisions, which logically, as an entrepreneur, you're like, I can't take time because I need to sort this.
No, yeah.
But actually, if you take the time off, you'll then be more efficient in dealing with the day-to-day.
Yeah.
So you'll naturally get more work done.
Yes.
And that is the reality.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll give you my opinion is that is true. Some people might disagree, but I think you definitely taking time away, or even time away while you're working, which is the final thing I just touch on, is sometimes we have the opportunity because we've got to meet suppliers and stuff like that, or go to networking events. You're working. You're not in the business, you're working on the business.
Correct.
But moving away and being in different surroundings just makes your brain think in a slightly different way. So, I think taking time out is definitely something I need to work on. I'm better at it now, and making those to-do lists like you guys discussed before. That's been very powerful for me. I do a lot of journaling.
That's
journaling, like when I'm stressed or anxious about things, writing down how I'm feeling, what's bothering me, like this person, like I'm maybe a little bit paranoid or whatever, and just writing it down, like it just makes me feel a lot better.
Putting pen to paper is definitely key, whether that's goal setting, to-do lists, or like you're talking about there, journaling.
It's very powerful. So obviously that's kind of like our episode 3 wrapped up. I think we've covered the topic nicely there. Anyone that's listening in, If there's anything you think we've missed, just drop me a DM on Instagram or LinkedIn, and Tom's on LinkedIn as well. Just reach out to us and or comment on the platform where you're consuming this content. Obviously, this is a bit of a new venture for us, so we really appreciate your support. If you can share it with people that are in business that you think might benefit from listening to it, or if you disagree, that's the other thing. Yeah. If you have an opinion that is different, please share, because we'd love to get our teeth into it, and when these episodes come out, and just kind of dissect what your thoughts are. Thank you for listening. We'll leave it there, and we'll see you in the next episode. Cheers. Thanks, Tom.